I appreciate members coming back. This won't take long, I don't believe. The committee shall come to order now. It is now in order to consider the unfinished business of the committee, which was a motion offered by the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan. The clerk will designate the motion.
A motion offered by Mr. Jordan to subpoena Councilmember Jack Evans.
The gentlewoman from the Virgin Islands is recognized for a motion.
Thank you. At this time, Madam Chairwoman, I make a motion to table this matter.
All those in favor of tabling the motion on the floor, say aye. Those opposed, no.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is tabled.
That's for a roll call vote, Madam Chair.
Roll call vote has been requested. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Cummings. Ms. Maloney.
Aye.
Ms. Norton.
Aye.
Mr. Clay. Mr. Lynch. Mr. Cooper.
Aye.
Mr. Connolly.
Aye.
Mr. Krishnamurthy.
Aye.
Mr. Raskin.
Aye.
Mr. Ruda. Okay. Ms. Hill. Ms. Hill votes yes. Ms. Wasserman Schultz. Ms. Wasserman Schultz votes yes. Mr. Sarbanes. Mr. Welch. Ms. Spear. Ms. Kelly. Mr. DeSaulnier. Mr. DeSaulnier votes yes. Ms. Lawrence. Ms. Plaskett. Ms. Plaskett votes yes. Mr. Khanna. Mr. Khanna votes yes. Mr. Gomez. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez. Ms. Presley. Ms. Tlaib. Ms. Tlaib votes yes. Mr. Jordan.
No.
Mr. Jordan votes no. Mr. Gosar. Ms. Fox. Mr. Massey. Mr. Massey votes no. Mr. Meadows. Mr. Meadows votes no. Mr. Heiss. Mr. Heiss votes no. Mr. Grossman. Mr. Grossman votes no. Mr. Comer. Mr. Cloud. Mr. Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs votes no. Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins votes no. Mr. Norman. Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy votes no. Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller votes no. Mr. Green. Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong votes no. Mr. Stubbe. Mr. Stubbe votes no. Mr. Keller. Mr. Keller votes no.
Is there any other member wishing to vote or wishing to change her or his vote? You're not recorded, sir. This is
Mr. Gomez is not recorded.
Would you say that again?
Hi, Mr. Gomez. Mr. Gomez votes yes. Ms. Presley is not recorded. Ms. Presley votes aye.
Any other member wishing to vote or to change her vote? The clerk shall report the vote.
Okay. Madam Chair, There are 16 yeses, 12 nays.
On this vote, there were 16 ayes and 12 nays. The motion is carried. There being no further business,
Madam Chair, I just have one final thing, if I could, real quick.
I recognize the ranking member.
Madam Chair, we just have a letter that every member of the Republican, on the Republican side has signed pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2J1. We write to notify you that we are exercising our right to call witnesses selected by the minority to testify. And so we have that letter that we'd like to have you present that to you now.
Do we have this? What?
That's fine, just accept the letter and then we can adjourn.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jordan, on this vote, there being no further business, the committee stands adjourned. Why would it stand in recess?
Oh, it's,
Because we've asked for our minority witnesses.
okay. So the committee can stand in recess.
Point of
Ask for
parliamentary.
minority day, this asked for minority day, I'm sorry, I didn't have this ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right. The minority,
If you'll suspend for a minute. Yes, okay. I think, if you'll hold 1 moment.
No, I think
It's at a time, so it goes in recess, and then you can call it back in.
But the problem is, if the full committee is recessed, then subcommittees, I don't know if subcommittees can meet in the.
Yeah, subcommittees can, full committee can. So until we call it back in, the full committee can.
Both can meet. Both can meet.
I'm sorry?
Both can meet.
Both can meet?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought that we adjourned. Okay.
So business related to this hearing can move forward
Okay.
to you.
Because it's the recessing of the, I apologize for this.
No.
Yeah.
It just, I want to make sure it's a recess, not
Yes,
an adjournment.
I mean, certainly, we want to honor this, but I don't want to hamstring business, other business of the committee.
there's a joint subcommittee tomorrow, and subcommittees can meet.
No,
the
I
date should be
understand.
set at a future time.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
committee continues to have other hearings and other business meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
The committee will come to order. The minority's request will be honored, will be considered and honored. There being no further business, the committee stands.
Parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chairman. I'm not
Yes.
sure I
Yes, sir.
understand. Could you please clarify? What do you mean honored?
The committee has asked for a minority day, and that is something we will consider, and if it is in order, it will be honored.
I would just note for the
I
record.
have not seen this until this moment.
Right.
But-
I certainly, Madam Chairman, and am in favor of minority rights. I was in favor of minority rights for the 8 years we were in the minority. I don't remember a single member of the other side of the aisle ever supporting us when the then chairman suppressed our right to have witnesses. And I know Ms. Maloney will remember the most infamous one, where a co-ed from Georgetown, that was our witness, at a table talking about religious freedom and reproductive rights, we were denied even that. And so I certainly look forward to having this dialogue and this newfound enthusiasm and zealotry for having minority witnesses. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Madam Chair?
Mr.
Chair.
Jordan, Mr. Jordan?
Well, I would just point out to my friend from Virginia, obviously, different circumstance. Now, well, I wasn't the chair of the committee. All I know is this week we've asked for 2 witnesses, and we've been denied both witnesses on 2 successive days, 2 different hearings. And all we're pointing out here is we'd like a minority hearing day with those witnesses that we've asked to come. One of them was the Inspector General for the district. And yesterday we had a hearing with the head of the Inspector General's Association, and he wasn't allowed to come. So that's all we're asking. And twice this week we've been turned down, so that's why we've sent the letter that every single Republican has signed, and we appreciate the chair's willingness to deal with it in the appropriate fashion.
Look, I want to say to Mr. Jordan, you are entitled today to one witness. You chose your witness, and then you came up with yet another witness that you wanted. We're trying to do regular order here. We're trying to be fair, and there is no attempt to keep you from having the number of witnesses to which you were entitled. What the gentleman from Virginia noted was that we were not given the same courtesy. We don't want to do tit for tat. We want you to have exactly what the rules allow, and that is what the rules are allowing. And that is what the rules are allowing, and if your minority day is in order, that is what should happen. So I thank the cooperation of my good friends on the other side. There being no further business, the committee stands adjourned. Recessed, I'm sorry. There is a difference in those words.
We didn't think
Yeah, the question becomes, can they